I saw it's a prick. It wasn't only gonna kill her, it was gonna fuck her. Saw his big hard prick.
This podcast is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Spoiler warning for whatever is in the title of this episode.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share and subscribe. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the Horror of Babylon podcast at gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/thehorrorofbabylon. In closing, you can let your friends know that The Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible and all other major podcast apps.
Welcome to a very special bonus episode of The Horror of Babylon, where we discuss An American Werewolf in London. Not the movie. There's actually a werewolf from the United States that's been sighted in the Piccadilly Circus area. Did you hear about that?
I did not hear about that.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that.
Okay, that sounds fun.
Not really. I am Ryan, and with me as always is Daniel. Say hi, Daniel.
Moon reference.
Moon reference.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. The whole soundtrack is just every song that has the word moon in it. And speaking of
moons,
I'm over the moon for the support that we get from our patrons, including Abigail the First, Breaker of Chains, Mother of Dragons, and
Logan,
the Full Metal Patron, and Ben, the Fourth Patron of Hope.
I forgot to say it. And Mia, the Fifth, the Rainmaker.
She makes it rain. And thank you to Sierra the Sixth, the Keyblade Patron. And this episode is sponsored by Four Horsemen Comics and Gaming, which they subscribe to our Losers Club tier on Patreon, so they get to choose 2 movies per month for us to do bonus episodes on, and the 2 movies they chose for the month of June are An American Werewolf in London and An American Werewolf in Paris. So thank you to them. You can check them out at the Morgantown Mall in Morgantown, West Virginia, the Mall at Robinson in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You can shop online at fourhorsemen.tcgplayerpro.com. And if you make it into the store, say hello to the guy who's running naked through the woods, Ronald III, Grampus of Christmas. No snarky comments, okay?
I just, that's something I pictured he'd actually do.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so.
I've seen it. Our history with An American Werewolf in London. Go ahead.
I was a really big fan of werewolves when I was growing up, and I wanted to watch a werewolf movie, and my dad went, "Oh, here you go, Daniel."
Here you go. I have been part of a 30-something year delusion that just ended today.
Yeah.
That the song Werewolves in London is from An American Werewolf in London. It is not. I didn't know that until today.
I'm sorry we broke this streak.
It's okay. My dad loves the song Werewolves in London, and he plays it all the time, and I don't know how I ever got it into my head that it was from this movie.
I mean, they both have the names Werewolves in London in the title.
But yeah, this movie I'd never seen it before today. It had been on my to-watch list for a very, very long time, and I finally got to do that. Yeah. And stay tuned for my thoughts.
It's considered one of those classics.
The vampire's a pure myth, superstition. I may be able to bring you proof that the superstition of yesterday can become the scientific reality of today.
Background, this film was released August 21st, 1981. It's an international release co-produced by production studios in the United Kingdom and the United States. It was written, I didn't know this either, it was written and directed by John Landis, who did other films you may know of, such as Animal House, The Blues Brothers, Twilight Zone the movie, Clue, Three Amigos, The Stupids, Burke and Hare, some super, super funny movies that I absolutely love.
Yeah.
I also didn't know this was a comedy.
Yeah, I didn't want to spoil it.
This movie won the 1981 Saturn Award for Best Horror Film, and we normally don't talk about the Academy Awards. However, this movie won the first Academy Award for Best Makeup.
Deserved?
Yes.
Yeah, so...
The film had a budget of $5.8 million and took in about $62 million. So,
yep.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
And that's that. Another story in the classic, infallible three-act structure. Good enough for Aristotle, good enough for The Simpsons.
Mr. Sislak, I have a feeling there's going to be one more act to this story.
Well, I'm not hanging around for that. 4 acts.
Going to structure and themes, is this peak horror comedy?
It's up there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what would be peak horror comedy? Like Gremlins?
Gremlins is what, because this very much put me in Gremlins mode.
Yeah, it's an 80s horror comedy.
Yeah. That
has like genuinely funny shit going on, but then it like tries to scare you at parts.
Right.
It has off the wall like 80s comedy goofiness.
When they're in the doctor's office and the one cop drops those like trays, those like liver bean trays, and has to like put them back together. I was rolling. I was absolutely rolling.
I thought you would like this part.
Yeah, I love this movie.
Yeah, I thought you would, but I didn't want to hype it up too much.
Well, there's this thing, like, you know, sometimes when you don't see a movie when you're a kid and you wait 20 years to see it, sometimes it can never live up to the expectations. And then sometimes it does.
I think me making sure that I didn't tell you this was a horror comedy helped.
Yeah, I had no idea it was a comedy. And it even took me like, 15, 20 minutes to really determine that it wasn't until really after David got attacked and he's in the hospital that it started to get funny.
Yeah. Because it starts off kind of dreary.
Yeah, and David and Jack, they're witty, like they're being comical with each other, but they're just also acting like two young guys would act.
A lot of it is very British humor if you like Monty Python movies.
I do.
You've made me miss. I've never missed that board. Go die in the woods. It's like a very British joke.
Yeah.
Or United Kingdom joke. I don't remember if they were in England at that point.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, okay, so it is a very British joke.
They were in Northern England.
Okay.
Which is not Scotland. Scotland is Northern Great Britain. So, yeah, there were points where I had to pause it. I was laughing so hard. And I actually got Emma to watch this with me. And she didn't laugh, but she had that whole, like, this is weird, and I don't know how to process it look on her face.
There's a lot of man-ass in this movie.
There's a lot of man-ass and one penis.
Yeah.
I said, that's a penis. I just got to the part in the Wind Through the Keyhole where the big woman tells Roland, I saw its prick. It wasn't only gonna kill her, it was gonna fuck her. Saw his big hard prick. Yeah.
Can you guess what my king is? For the Wind Through the Keyhole.
Oh, that? Yeah.
I feel like if you don't know it's a comedy going in, it will catch you off guard.
It absolutely did, yeah.
And if you're not even, like, aware, if you're not used to Monty Python-esque comedy, it might even take you a minute.
Mm-hmm. And it did. But I am, but I still, like, I wasn't ready. I thought it was just, like, an 80s horror, like, kind of, I knew it was going to be, like, a special effects heavy kind of movie. That's what I knew.
Like, the first few times I watched it, it didn't really click until, like, the dry humor of his friend, like the zombie friend, because it's just like, hey man, just kill yourself.
Yeah.
It's great. It's fine.
Ugh. And we'll talk about the ending later, but like the ending feeds into that a lot. Or maybe we should just talk about it now, because that's kind of a structural thing.
Yeah.
So no, let me say this. So if you would have told me on paper that you're about to watch a werewolf movie where it's 90 minutes and the main character doesn't transform to a werewolf until an hour in.
Yeah.
Aside from the initial attack, the whole first hour is all talking. I would have been like, why would I want to watch that? That sounds awful. And then he transforms, and I'm like, wait, how long has it been? And I pause it, and I'm like, it's been an hour?
Yeah.
That was an hour?
It flies.
Yeah. And then that last half hour is so jam-packed.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy how much they fit into that last 30 minutes. But then the end is just like a huge slap in the face. And I was sitting there, I was like, sitting there to myself, was like, how do they end this? Like,
they just shoot him.
which is fine, but it was kind of horrifying.
Don't I need a silver bullet? Oh, be real. Stop being ridiculous.
I was actually thinking, like, when they're in the back of the porno theater, I was thinking he's going to kill himself. That's how this is going to end. Or it's going to be some stupid she saves him with love. Or the other thing I was thinking is like, or she'll put him down.
Yeah, it's kind of a dour, abrupt ending.
It is. And that's where, like, spoilers, it's not, I didn't think it was scary, but it did kind of horrify me in just how dour the ending is.
It's very visceral, and I don't want to say realistic, but like just the suddenness and abruptness of violence.
Yeah, like when someone gets shot in the street, boom, it's over.
Or literally ran over, which happens whenever the werewolf bursts out of the theaters. The dude just gets ran over because crazy shit starts happening.
Yeah, and that and like how fast it goes from him dead to the credits rolling, that was kind of horrific and sort of scary.
And like they don't explain anything. Like they're just like, no, there's just a werewolf. He dies in the streets. Nobody gets to process this.
So Emma, like I said, Emma watched it and she's like, "What happens?" I'm like, "You want to watch American Werewolf in Paris next week?" She's like, "They made more." I was like, "I don't," and you don't have to tell me. I assume it doesn't follow the same characters. Maybe it does. I don't know. But yes, there is a sequel.
I will not spoil it.
I'm assuming it doesn't, but I'll find out.
Yeah.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
So let's go to characters. David Naughton plays David Kessler. What did you think of?
Does perfect casting exist? Yes.
Yes, it does. Incredibly charming.
I'm not going to eat my food until this nurse falls in love with me. I've never invited a man back to my house like this before.
And tying Jenny Agutter, who plays Nurse Alex Price, into it, they have a genuinely engaging, like, little romantic subplot. Yeah, it's super cute. Nice hot shower. No, I thought David was absolutely charming, and I felt horrible for him for what happened, but I also had this strange happiness for him for the love that he finds with Alex, and then it all gets ripped away. But if he would have listened to his dead friend and committed suicide, it wouldn't have happened.
If this movie has a theme, it is the abruptness and suddenness of violence.
Yeah.
And that's only if it's a theme. I think that they went in there going, hey, let's make an entertaining werewolf movie.
And they did.
Yeah.
Ever since we did our Leprechaun episode, on and off, I've been listening to Warwick Davis's biography for a second time. Mm-hmm. And he has like this huge rant that he goes back to throughout it, that the movies were best in the 80s because people didn't think about what it meant, that they just tried to make entertaining movies, be it, a scary movie, a funny movie, or an action-packed, but they just wanted to entertain, and the story would come naturally.
Yeah. And
like I'm starting to believe it.
I am also a believer in that, especially with like a bunch of like recent things I've seen. Maybe not like recent like this year, but like the past 5-6 years.
But yeah, this is obviously a good example of that. Any thoughts on Nurse Price?
I don't know what those little nurse hats are called.
they're hot.
Yeah, like when people I say I'm attracted to nurses, I don't mean scrubs. I mean this very specific era of 80s.
Yeah, I'm with like the short little dresses, like the Animaniacs. Hello, nurse.
And the little nurse hat. I'm like,
exactly. Screw scrubs.
Yeah, I want us to bring this back.
Yeah,
I would never leave mental health. I would stay in a hospital the rest of my life.
just be a patient. That'd be easier.
Oh yeah, I'll just hurt myself.
Patients get it too.
Yeah.
David got it. Okay, Griffin Dunn as Jack Goodman.
Very funny.
Very funny.
So
he had just a great outlook on death. It's just like, it sucks. I want it to be over, but he wasn't like super depressed about it. But he just let you know.
It's very dry.
Yeah. I died when in the porno theater where he's introducing the other dead people and like that couple that it's like, oh, and this is Harry and his fiance. Oh, hello.
They were very British about it.
Yeah. We can't be. Yes, you murdered us, but it's nice to meet you.
I shouldn't have tried to pull a prank.
Yeah. All he wanted to do was sneak in the back door to scare his friend.
And he got him and his wife killed.
Oh my God. Let's have a laugh.
Let's have a laugh. And that's why this movie, it's like, that's dark, but the way everyone treats it is super funny.
Yeah.
And then, like, the businessman's all, you ruined my business life. The homeless people are like, fuck you. You wanker. Or whatever the British people say.
Yeah. Okay, John Woodvine as Dr. J.S. Hirsch.
Hiya! Happy Easter!
I think when it first hit me that this was a comedy was when he's on the phone with his secretary, or he's on the phone and he's like, oh, if I could survive Rommel, I could survive another dinner with Matthias.
Yeah, I mean, he's also funny.
Yeah.
There's not, like, a lot, again, because they didn't focus on, like, a lot of depth. They focused on making an entertaining werewolf comedy. So it's not like, let's discuss the themes and the motivation of this It's the doctor's just trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
So he gets his little investigation segments, and then it's over. It's abruptly over.
And I also have the villagers and the initial werewolf.
We don't have any food.
What do they eat?
You can have. They just wanted them to leave.
Yeah.
We don't have coffee. You can have tea. Oh, can we have tea? No.
Do you have any hot soup? No.
And that woman was being so rude, but at the same time, that she's the first one to go, you can't just let them leave.
You can't just kill them. It's murder. Then let it be murder.
They can't be knowing our business.
And they never explain, like, how the werewolf is tied to that community.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like, I didn't want them to. That's what you expect. Is like, oh, there's some dark secret. This town has been hiding this strain of werewolf for years.
And you just never get to.
Yeah. They all know about it. There's a pentagram on the wall and 2 creepy candles. How long has that been there? Oh, it's been there for over 200 years.
And sometimes lack of an explanation's better.
Yeah. Not that I would have been upset if they took 2 minutes to explain it, but it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, no, we have a werewolf in our village. Maybe they don't even know who it is. They just know that somebody's I guess they figured out. Maybe he just lives out in the woods.
Yeah.
But, God, you have to figure, because you see every person you kill, apparently. Like, how long has he been doing this?
I mean, if they just had one that lived on the moors around the village, like, why would they treat it like some deep family secret?
Just let him go out there and eat some sheep. It'll be fine.
Yeah, just tell them, we have a pack of rabid dogs on the moors. It's not safe out there. Don't do it.
Yeah. What's that howling? Even just tell them that there's wolves out there.
I love watching horror movies, even not scary ones with Emma, because I get to egg her on. Because when they leave the slaughtered lamb and they walk off the road, and I look at Emma and I say, how many people told them to stay on the road? It's pitch black. It's raining. It's the moors. If you've read The Hound of the Baskervilles, you know how dangerous the moors can be. And they still just walk straight off the road. And she's just like, they're idiots. They're stupid.
The reason it happens is because they get distracted talking to each other.
Yeah, but still, like, I mean, you're in a foreign country.
Yeah.
In and you're in the country.
Yeah, stupid Americans.
Yeah, I mean, you need to not just walk around like you're big dick American, I can go wherever I want. You need to be respectful and be smart.
If this movie was made today, it would have been because they were looking at their phones.
Yeah. That's actually true.
Yeah.
What did you think of the first Werewolf?
You don't get a lot of them, but
No.
I mean, I kind of like the build-up. It's off camera. And then, I trip and fell. Hey, let me help you. Ah!
I love the shot of it dead.
Yeah.
I think that one is actually kind of on the creepy side. Because I didn't realize what it was the first second. I was like, what is that? Oh.
Kill you all! I'll drive you crazy, and I'll kill you all! I'm every nightmare you ever had. I am your worst dream come true. I'm everything you ever were afraid of.
Scary shit. Is this movie scary?
I mean, it has some jump scares in it, if those get you.
One got me, or no, actually two got me. It wasn't so much scary, it was just like surprised. When Jack appears in the mirror in the bathroom.
Yeah.
That just surprised me. And then when the wolf is like going to attack and then all of a sudden it changes to a lion in the zoo. I was just like, that's a lion!
I like, if you're not jump scare savvy, I can see this like giving you some startles, but I don't think it's scary.
No, it's not scary, but I was kind of upset by it.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you fall so in love with Jack, and you also, I really liked his romance with Alex, and it's just super sad.
So what did you think of the transformation scene?
It was, I haven't seen enough werewolf movies to like rank transformation scenes, but if it's not the best one, it's got to be in the top 3.
This is usually one of the top contenders, and there's a few, and like I've seen like a lot of top of lists. This usually gets number 1.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't get number 1, it's in the top 3. The one from the first Howling movie usually ranks pretty high also. And then there's one from, I think it's called A Company of Wolves. I have to double check. Where it's just, the scene is actually kind of good. Like a guy starts screaming and like a wolf snout, and it's all practical effects, pokes out of his mouth, and he's like ripping himself open.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I guess you could kind of like in Beetlejuice, where she like,
and it's like very gory.
That's cool.
Yeah. And that one also usually ranks pretty high.
Yeah, so I watched this on Shudder, and as soon as it ended, Shudder was like, here's 7 more werewolf movies!
I also watched this on Shudder. Through YouTube, I got a 7-day free trial.
Nice.
So.
Very cool. But yeah, overall, I thought the effects were great.
Sponsor us, Shudder.
I could... The only one that I thought was a little awkward was just that first werewolf when it like jumps. It was just super fake, but I mean, like in a fun way for me.
Yeah.
I guess it didn't completely jibe with like how good like the later effects looked. And also like the makeup on Jack as he's just like continually getting worse and worse was really, really awesome.
Eventually we'll do the Howling and we can compare the transformation scenes.
Are you gonna eat that toast?
God, why did I look? God damn it.
Kiss me, fat boy!
Kiss Me, Fat Boy. If you had to transform into a werewolf in a porno theater, what porno would you want them to be showing?
One of Bailey J's pornos where she just has like a way bigger dick than the dude she's having sex with.
It's going to be an unyet produced prequel to The Lord of the G-Strings that takes place on Sauron's Werewolf Island.
Oh, your answers are always so good.
Sorry.
That's so much better.
Oh my god, are you Stephen King? No, I'm Dean Koontz. Oh.
Alright, Kings and Koontz. Daniel, what is your king for...
The werewolf transformation.
A naked American stole my balloons.
It's also pretty good. That kid is so stupid. I'll give you £2 if you come over here, kid.
Who are you? I'm the famous balloon thief.
Kid, that's how you get molested. And God, the way Jack came out, it's like,
Yeah.
And
your Koontz? Mine's super nitpicky.
What's yours? Because all the ones I've thought of have been super nitpicky.
So it was just, I felt like there was a little bit of a disconnect, but they're in the porno theater making plans for him to kill himself, and then all of a sudden it's night and he's transforming.
He was watching a lot of porn.
That's what I'm saying. Aren't you aware of what time it is?
Yeah.
Like, if it was that close to night, wouldn't you have been rushing a little bit? But again, it doesn't matter. It's nitpicky. It doesn't change anything, but it's something that stuck out to me.
I guess just that he never thought, okay, so he's aware he's a werewolf, right? Like, he knows for a fact at this point that at least something has happened.
Yeah.
Much like how you don't know what time it is, why you lock yourself in a basement or something. Like, handcuff yourself to something, take a precaution.
Oh, you know what else kind of irritated me? The scene where he tries to get arrested and he's just like, oh, it's useless. I'm like, punch him. You want to get arrested, deck him.
I think that even if he had done it, because the joke was, this is just a polite British police officer that's not going to do it.
So take your pants off and shit in public. I mean, if you want to get arrested, it's not that hard.
So, I feel like he didn't try hard enough.
Yeah.
But I also think that's part of the joke.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it should be a complaint.
It's my American sensibilities. It's not.
I think that's part of the joke, is it's like a stupid American isn't taking necessary precautions.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what the joke is.
It may be. It may, or we're all overthinking it. But it doesn't matter,
it's just
because
a fun 80s movie.
Yeah, it's just a fun 80s movie. You're not supposed to think. Okay, rankings. Here's your list. I'm presuming it's in the top 30 somewhere.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Yeah, it's going to be very high on mine as well.
It's above Dog Soldiers. It's above The Mist. It's above Gremlins for me. It's above Blade. Is it above Freaky?
It's close. It's in that. It's close.
I'm gonna put it right above Freaky.
We'll see if maybe after a couple rewatches of Freaky, you can revisit that.
Because I've also seen this movie a bunch.
Yeah, I'm assuming you've only seen Freaky once at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your number 8 between Pet Sematary and Freaky. Mine's going to be pretty hot up in that top 10 range as well.
Yeah, it gets hard once you get up here.
Yeah.
Is it better than Freaky? It seems to be the question. Which I guess is high praise for Freaky, because this is considered like a classic.
Yeah. I'll put it at my number 7, although I could see myself making it up a couple more spaces. Like, part of me thinks that maybe, in the long run, I'm going to enjoy watching An American Werewolf in London more than I enjoy The Exorcist or Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say that when I've only seen the movie once time.
Yeah.
But if we did this, I revisited that ordering in 3 years, and I'm like, oh no, I watch Werewolf in London every 6 months. I adore it. I could definitely see it going up higher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Further reading, I assume you're going to say The Howling.
The Howling. The first Howling movie just tries to be a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
The second Howling movie is called Howling 2, Stebra Werewolf Bitch. That one I don't think tries to be a comedy, but sort of unintentionally funny. And then the third Howling movie is called Howling 3, The Marsupials. And it's just a comedy.
I want to see that one.
Yeah.
Let's skip the first two.
I think we could do a Howling-a-thon if we really wanted to just...
I'd want to do at least the first book and then do the movies.
Yeah, and the only thing I will warn people about the first book, it has one of the most graphic rape scenes that I've personally read.
I've read Rattlesnakes.
Yeah,
so
it's right in the opening chapter.
Ooh.
So it's like,
well, at least it lets you bail off.
Yeah, it's the first thing you have to deal with, and if you can get past it, I'm just like, it's not just graphic in descriptions, but in realism.
Okay.
So
yeah, well, we can put that on the short list for season 4.
Yeah, that's the trigger warning I offer people for Howling. The book.
Cursed.
Cursed definitely I'd put on there. I really want to live in the universe where just Wes Craven got to make the Cursed movie he wanted to make. Because there was a bunch of studio interference with the movie.
Yeah, I don't know any of that story, so maybe we'll do a bonus episode on Cursed at some point and you can explain all the lore.
Yeah. Cursed is fun. I consider it like one of my guilty pleasure movies because I really like it.
I bet in that world, we also get a Dog Soldier sequel.
Yeah, we get everything we want werewolf related.
Yeah.
But Stephen King doesn't write rattlesnakes.
And like an adult adaptation of The Werewolf of Fever Swamp.
Yeah.
Okay. So upcoming on the Horror of Babylon, our next book episode is this Sunday, June 6th, where we read Rattlesnakes by Stephen King. Warning, that book fucked us both up. It's bad.
Yeah.
Not bad in terms of quality, but bad in terms of content. Ugh.
I literally just looked at my phone. Hey, who sent me a message? It was you.
Yeah, don't open that yet.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, June 16th, our Summer of Goosebumps premieres with our first episode on Night of the Living Dummy, the original R.L. Stine book. And then our next two bonus episodes on Thursday, June 13th, surprise to no one, we are watching An American Werewolf in Paris, which I have not watched yet.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. There's a werewolf in it, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Sort of.
And then on June 20th, we are watching House, the J-horror. I almost said the J-horror RPG.
Well, Ryan, there is an RPG of the J-horror film House.
And that's what we're streaming.
Which inspired the Resident Evil franchise.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to get all the lore.
Yeah.
And speaking of people who get all the lore, thank you to our patrons, including Abigail the First, Breaker of Chains, Mother of Dragons, and
Logan,
the Full Metal Patron, and Ben the Fourth, Patron of Hope, and Mia the Fifth, the Rainmaker.
She makes it rain.
Yeah. Oh, she makes it rain. And thank you to Sierra the Sixth, the Keyblade Patron.
Keyblade sound.
And thank you to Horsemen Comics and Gaming, who sponsored this episode. Again, they subscribe to our Losers Club tier, which we're only taking 6 more spots for. No, please, no more. You can visit...
Maybe one.
Yeah. They,
we have a trip to Florida to pay for.
Yeah. To Rattlesnake Key. Ugh. Yeah, if we do go on that trip, I'm going to be thinking about rattlesnakes the whole time. I can't play Magic. No, the snakes make them go away.
We'll just make a week of content where we just record things about Magic.
Sure. But because they're on that tier on our Patreon, they get to choose 2 episodes per month for us to review. This month is the American Werewolf in London and its sequel. And if you want to say thank you to them, you can stop by the Morgantown Mall in Morgantown, West Virginia, the Mall at Robinson in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You can shop online at fourhorsemen.tcgplayerpro.com. And you can, if you make it into the store, say hello to the proprietor, Ronald III, Grampus of Christmas. You'll know him when you see him. He just has that Ronald III look.
Yeah. They get all the lore. They know who Golden Freddy is.
I hate that I know who Golden Freddy is. Whatever. I thought I would forget, but no, I didn't. Still. All right. Well, thank you for watching An American Werewolf in London and recording with me tonight.
Thank you for getting him to watch it with you.
Yeah, it was fun. Oh, I forgot. I asked her, so what's your king and your Koontz? She's like, that movie was weird. And I said, is that your king or your Koontz? And she said, yes.
That's a very Emma reaction.
Yeah, it was. And for those of you watching the YouTube version, here is Sexy Shrek.
That should just be the background the whole time.
Yeah.
Maybe
no,
not.
we might get demonetized. If we were monetized. All right. Thank you for watching the movie and recording with me tonight. And thank you to our patrons. Stay tuned for our socials and stay scary.
Stay scary, everybody.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share, and subscribe. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher, and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the Horror of Babylon podcast at gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/thehorrorofbabylon. In closing, you can let your friends know that The Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, and all other major podcast apps. Stay scary.